This screencast will look at resampling images, scaling them, changing their resolution. This is using Photoshop CS6. Bear in mind that the Photoshop Creative Cloud version of Photoshop has had some work done on this size panel and the new panel, and it's a little bit different, but this is fine for Photoshop CS6. Now I'm going to create a new document in Photoshop, and I'm going to create it 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. Now the resolution, I'm going to make sure it's pixels per inch, so make sure it's not defaulted to centimeters, and I'm going to type in 150 dpi. So that's 10 centimeters square by 150 pixels per inch. Now I've made my size. Now I'm going to scale this to show an example of what happens when resampling takes place. If I go to the image menu and I go to image size, now here you'll see sometimes it may add a slight point, so you'll see it's added 1 point onto there. So this is how you would scale an image. Now there's different types of scaling functions, how they work out the calculations, and they can be changed down the bottom, and this helps you on what you're trying to enlarge. Every time you're making an image larger and increasing its resolution, there will be a drop in quality. So these functions try and even that out, but we'll leave it where it is. Now to begin with, down the bottom, we'll make sure that resample is turned off. So we'll turn off resample. Now you'll notice up at the top, the pixels are locked, whereas before when it was on, they weren't. So this means no pixels be added or taken away, and that's what happens in resampling. You add and take away pixels, and by doing so, this is where you lose your quality. Now I want to change the dimensions of this image, so all I'm going to do is type in a higher resolution. So from 150 dpi, I'm going to type in 300. Now when I've typed in 300, you'll see where it was 10 centimeters square, now it's only 5. So what's happened when you don't resample an image and increase its resolution is it will change the physical dimensions. So in this case, we've doubled the amount of dpi per square inch, and the only way it can do this is it has half the size of the image. Now when you rearrange an image, make it bigger or smaller by using this technique, not resampling, it will not lose quality, but it might be the case that your image will be too small. Now, in this example, we will do it another way. We will make sure that resample is on and checked, and you'll notice that up at the top, the width and height in pixels, that's editable, and then we will type in 300. So what will change will not be the physical dimensions, but the dimensions of the width and the height, so they will double. So if I take that down again, 150, the pixels were 591 by 591, and when I type in 300 dpi, doubling it, you'll see it's gone up to 1182. Now the physical size of the document has stayed the same, and you'll notice the size of the image has gone from just over 1 megabyte to 4 megabytes. So adding more pixels adds weight in file size to your image, and also it adds lots of pixels, and when it adds lots of pixels, you lose quality. So resampling an image, especially up, you will lose quality. If you also resample it down too much, you will lose quality. Now here is an image, and we're just going to have a look at it, how it's made up with pixels. Now if we wanted to know what the size of this image is, it's quite a low resolution image, so if I go to the image menu and I go to image size, it's only 307 by 205, and the resolution is only 72, so it's very small as an image. And also the size, if I look down the document window, this is at 100%. So if I get the zoom tool and I zoom in, on my image. If we zoom in here and zoom in the eye, as you keep on going with the magnification, you will see the image will go all the way up and you'll see all the different shades of pixels. Now, when scaling an image, if you get your scaling wrong, the pixels will be visible and the quality of your image will reduce. And this is the problems you have with bitmap images, because ideally they're not scalable. Now this image, we will increase its DPI and its physical size and see what impact that has on the quality. Go to the image menu, image size. Now if we type in here a resolution of 300, we're making sure resample is checked, and then here it's 10 centimeters, so I'll make it 40 centimeters width, and then it's made it massively bigger in pixel dimensions and physical size, and we click OK. Now it's scaled the image up, and if I get the hand tool, you'll see there's no physical pixels in the image, and this is looking at it at 100%, but you'll notice the clarity is not great. It's quite mushy. It's done a very good job of adding all the pixels, but there's been a certain drop off in overall quality of the image, and the image lacks any sharpness. Here we have a photograph that's been taken with a digital camera at a 6 megapixel setting. Now we are going to see how we could scale it. Now it's quite common that when you have an image that has been taken on a digital camera, when you open up in Photoshop, it's quite common that the physical size of the image will be quite large and the resolution will be quite low. So this gives you scope to rearrange some of that information to do with resolution and physical size. So we're going to go up to the image menu, we're going to go to the image size, and we're going to see what's going on. So if we look here, we've got 3000 pixels by 2000 pixels, quite a reasonable quality image. And if we note the physical sizes, the width is 51 centimeters and the height is 34, but the resolution is quite low. If we wanted to print an image, we would expect the resolution to be 240 for an inkjet printer, or if we're going to do it full color to be printed properly, it would be 300. If we were using it on a website, we might be looking at 72, or a laser printer 170. So we'll want to make it for an inkjet printer 240. Now by unchecking resample, we can now change the resolution to 240, and you'll see the size will reduce. Now it hasn't reduced enough, so it's come down, and so if we wanted to fit this on an A4 sheet, it's not going to do it because it's 32 by 21. So we can just slightly tweak it. Once we've done that, we can click resample on and we can bring it down, and if I make the certainly the width 20, it will slightly resample it and we can scale it properly, and we click OK. Scaled it. Now you'll notice the zoom is at 33%, and if we blow that up or press the 100%, it will bring the image up, and you need to check the quality. If you resample an image too much, you will see a very mushy effect take place on your image.